but I know what I know. But they have some different topics, some of which I must say have somewhat faded away. For example, the flat Earth. You know, what I mean, there's this philosophy that we as black people didn't come from Africa. We came from here. We are the Indians. We came from right here in the Western world. Those of us are in the Western world, which I'm not. Again, I'm not fight. I wouldn't even fight half of that statement there. We are, of course, we've been
All
here,
right, let me
and they met
come
us
in here.
here,
Hold
and
on, give me.
and but we came here as well.
Yes, blessed love to everyone. Yes, yes, give thanks. I'm just here listening to the program that we did previous night, The Shock of the Hour. This is me here now. This is me speaking to you. I was just listening to the program, The Shock of the Hour there. And there's a section of the program. This is just from previous night, what we call last night's Shock of the Hour. And there's a section that I dedicated to that whole concept about if the Indians gave Rastafari their culture. A few ones were asking me about that. To be honest, I thought most individuals knew of that history, about the Indians, the Sadhu people, giving the Rasta the whole thing about the locks and also the smoking of the marijuana, etc. Because this came up with Bongo Flacco on my program. And of course, I've talked about that before. And although I would agree to some extent, what he was saying and where we may have seen the culture to some degree, you would know if you follow my works, you would know that I do not conclusively believe that. Whatever we may have gotten from the Indians would have originally gotten from us. But as I said, I went into it a bit previous night. So I said, let me just share this with you. I think I went into it like maybe for about 10 minutes. This wasn't the subject for the evening. This is a shock of the hour. You're going to be listening to a clip from the shock of the hour. And for those who would have listened to the shock of the hour, you want to watch this because I'm going to furnish this with some pictures and you'll hear what I think about it. So as you could see definitely on your screen, remember it's just 2 days away from today. It's Sunday, the 1st of November. We're talking about Rastafari and the woman. Did you get your ticket as yet? No? Well, trust me, I would advise that you definitely hook yourself up with that ticket right about now. This is going to be a dynamic lecture. In fact, tomorrow evening after the Sabbath, we should be coming to you again with a reminder, an up-to-date program directly, getting you ready for Sunday. But hey, trust me, if I was you, I would not wait for the last minute. I don't want you to come and say I'm ready, and I said, hey brother, all the space is done and all of that, or hey sister, all the space is done. So if I was you, remember you can make your payment via the Cash App. Very simple. Atonra, Atonra 2723. You can make your payments via that. If you have any problem with the Cash App, you could just email us priestisaac27@gmail.com, and you will definitely, we'll definitely give you more information and exactly how we could make that financial transaction. All right. All right, let's go into this. Remember, this was a shock of the hour program. And that's another thing. Why are you not a subscriber to the shock of the hour? I mean, this is a program that comes every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Remember, this is, a lot of information you're getting on a weekly basis, on a strongly basis. And last night's program is no exception. It was a wonderful program for sure. And remember also, once you are a subscriber to the Shock of the Hour, a lot of people not realizing this. Once you are a subscriber to the Shock of the Hour, for example, the lecture that we are having on Sunday, and all our online lectures to come, you definitely get a free pass. All our documentaries that we produce, all of our books that we publish, once you are a Shock of the Hour member, all of these things directly come straight to you. So it's much more than you even pay for as such. You get more than just the program, the Shock of the Hour. So yeah, I'm inviting and encouraging everyone to partake of the shock of the hour. It is only to your benefit. And as I said, from you subscribe today, Sunday, you don't even have to worry about paying again to enter into the hall. It will definitely be there for you. All right, we'll talk about that a little bit more. Let us continue to listen to this. This is just a short clip from our program previous night, The Shock of the Hour, and I'm talking about that whole Indian Rastafari link. Listen to this good. I hope you're listening.
That is the reality of it.
Listen to him.
The transatlantic slave trade is a real thing, you know, but this is us. And that's very deep to understand, you know, we can't lose touch of that. I said I was going to address this subject on the YouTube too. Someone's were a bit put aside because Ras Flacco said that we got our tradition from the Indian people. A few were even saying, man, you should have corrected, man. Did you listen to that interview? That was a professor lecture for me. And I said that basically from the onset because I know what I was expecting, or I know what to expect, I should say. I've heard the brother give these views. There are a few things he would have said that maybe I would have said, well, you know, I get what you're saying, but I look at it that way. But I don't have a problem. Let the brother say what he has to say, including that point. It's number one, it's not a false point that he's making. There's a certain influence that came from the tradition that the Indian man had. And we're not speaking from books and we read, we're talking about literal interaction that we had with the indentured servants that came from the land known as India. This is reality. You know, remember, number one, India has always had a specific connection and relationship with Ethiopia. And this is seen even in the book of Esther, when it speaks of the king of Ethiopia ruling unto India. All of that is really ancient Ethiopian land, just like the Seba kingdom goes all the way into Menin. It goes even beyond that. You know, and that is why, to be honest, you can just look at any black woman that straightens her hair, especially if she has a specific, you know, phenotype, which most would have. You would see it looks almost like, exactly, some cases, some sisters would look exactly like an Indian woman, specifically the dark Indian women's, Indian women's, imagine that, Indian women, the so-called untouchables. Well, them fellas like to touch them a lot because they rape them plenty. Yeah, reality. So it's like within that whole process of the coming in of the different races, as you would call them, you could see that was the first step down according to anthropology. We ain't just speaking guessing here like we feel. According to anthropological research from Sheikh Anta Diop, it's about 18,000 years ago that the Hindu Kush man came out of the Hindu Kush mountains, which is really the first sign of what has become, let's say, the Indians today. And the black Indians are the original Indians, those in the south, in Sri Lanka and these places. And then again, you could see, because these are the nigger people, eh? Yeah, man, we did a whole program. Did we do a video on that? A whole program on the black Indian kings. And you see them black Indian kings with their chalice for real. We have the pictures here. We did a video on that. I think we put it on YouTube. Didn't we? I gotta check my vibes, man, because that's something that people need to see. Where you see the Indian kings, you know what I mean, just a few centuries ago, sitting, sipping their pipe and rolling over their domain. Black, not just black untouchables, black African. When you distinguish between an African and an Indian, these Indians were Africans. And in fact, they have Indians in India that still have the woolly hair of the Africans.
Okay, hold on there. Let me just pause. So just want to be clear, because remember that was the shock of the hour from previous night. I wasn't showing no pictures, but now I'm here. I'm showing you the picture so you could see for yourself. You see the brother here, one of the ancient Indian rulers with his turban and with his chalice. He's the one here with the chalice. You could see the other fellas like they're like, what is that? Show us how to use that, you know? So it came from us originally. You understand? And you could see we have the proof right here in front of us. Let us continue. Give thanks to the life.
See them on
and
some
the keeper of life.
documentaries.
Sounds like
You
it's two of us
understand?
here.
So I know that's a little bit off the subject here, you know, but this is the tiger's nest. This is where we are. So tigers is an Indian animal and this and that. But anyway, that's the next story altogether there. So that is the heights with that. There is that mystic connection because we are the Buddha people. So I say all that really to come to that thing. That's why I don't argue. But you know, I got to argue with the man and tell the man, well, sometimes dogma make us move like that. He is right. He not lying. It is true. They maybe not everything, you know, but there are a lot of um the aspects of Rastafari that you would see similar to that of the ancient the monks from India. We call them the sadis from India, the long locks. But of course, the agents told us, you know, clearly that is the Mao Mao that inspired them. So, you know, like yeah, I've heard that, and I more hear that from the elders than they have any connection with the sadis. I have to do a whole video on that maybe, or something, or at least put up this aspect of the understanding. So that's how I look at that, and I think let me be clear with it again, so that the audience will understand how we are looking at this. Yes, there are those within Rastafari.
And before he gets clear with that, so you see here now, look at this brother here with his turban. We just showed you the African king with his turban, and that is before that brother there with his turban. Oh no, sorry, we're still on the African king. Pardon me, forgive me for that. All right, yeah, there we go. Sorry for that. Okay, so look at that now. So you see this brother here with his turban. You see that? Okay. So, but you know which one was the more ancient one. So are we to say that we got our turban tradition from him? No. You know, I would say that he got his turban tradition from the ancient tradition that was brought to them. So in other words, he got his turban tradition from him. You understand? That's just the reality of it. But anyway, as we continue, because there's more to it. All right. Yeah, where is it? Where is it? Yes, continue, my brother.
Know the history. It is true.
Thanks,
There
the life
is a
giver.
connection, a physical connection with the Indians that came to the Caribbean as indentured servants. That is true. And they came with the hemp, and they came with the pipes too. And the monks amongst them came with their long locks. And we did see that. And yes, we were inspired. And as I said, from my own research, especially with the elders, I know I'm not as researched as Bongo Flacco, but for sure, I always heard, even more than the Bible, Numbers chapter 6 says you must grow your locks. I've always heard that it is the Mau Mau rebellion in Kenya that really excited. Now, and he said that man did have locks before that too, but that really push it over the edge, like bam, no man, this is who we are. Because as I personally always say, Rastafari is a revolutionary movement. Yes, there are many aspects of it, but as a movement, it's not a religion for sure. And sometimes I question if it's a theology within itself, or is it a philosophy, you know. But there are aspects of it's reality. That is theological. Of course, it is a theology, you know. But Rastafari as a movement, that is when you encompass everything and its origin and its understanding. To me, it's a philosophy. But God is in the midst of it, so it must be a theology. You know, the study of the Almighty. You know, but then as I see that, you know, when it comes to that aspect of it, one should hold their corner, defend what they're defending, respect the other ones. But there's a revolutionary work that needs to be done, a wholehearted work that needs to be done, that needs a strong unity of those who understand the philosophy of the revolution and Emperor Haile Selassie the First. You know what I mean? The earth's rightful ruler. Mm. Even if you say, well, Almighty God and all that, you can't deny Earth's rightful ruler. So within that understanding and us uniting around that, there's great things for us to gain. Yeah. So within the whole realms, you know, Rastafari live forevermore. We would have been inspired from the Indian brothers and sisters, but they were inspired from us before. And this is why I'm saying now, you know, that we were there. We have the records to prove it. We have the pictures to prove it, that we were there. And even prior to that, you know, we could pull many kings in Kemet, ancient Kemet, that had their locks, that carried their locks. We were plotting the locks when the rest of the world civilizations were just waking up. And we have that proof on some of the oldest writings in the world. So I could never end it there and tell you that we got our locks from the Indians. Because many ones make that statement and it's blank, bam, full stop. As I said, I could acknowledge in this time, you know, with our resurrection, where we were inspired from. I ain't fighting that. That's why you can't say a man wrong. But those who brought that thing back for us got it from us prior to, and give thanks for reminding us of it. But the evidence of cannabis found in some ancient African tombs, all in Ethiopia, that predate again the civilizations of other nations. And again, let me be clear that even in the heights of these early civilizations of these other nations, India and China included, it was Black people. It's like you saying Chinese give us Kung Fu. It's like you're saying the Japanese give us karate. Now, to some degree, I would agree, of course, we understand that, but it was sure. What's the brother name there?
His name is Bodhi
The black
Dama.
man that started Kung Fu there.
Bodhi Dama.
Honorable Prince.
Bodhi Dama.
Anyway, there's a black man that came, and he came from India.
Bodhi
but he's
Dama.
recalled, huh?
Bodhi Dama.
Bodhi Dharma. Give thanks.
You're welcome.
Bodhi Dharma was a black man, and they in the Song Mountains in China. You go to the top of the mountains, you see Bodhi Dharma sitting down there, black statue, ball plated and some long hair. No, not long, but long though. Bodhi Dharma, black man, coming out of India, but he's considered an African man. So how you work that out? And that is why when you go into the same temples, I'm sure you've seen it on documentaries where you see them fighting the martial arts. You see a lot of Black people there on the walls. And I know, again, this is not the subject for tonight. But as I said, a few people already, you know, those, some of you too. Nice interview with Brother Flacco. But how you gonna say Rasta get the thing from the Indians? And rah, rah, rah. Yeah, but many ones do have the philosophy, and respect is due where respect is due. But let's understand the full scope of it. We gave the people you call the Chinese today karate, kung fu, pardon me. And we gave the Japanese karate. Remember, karate is Kontsuyan in Ethiopia. We did a whole program on that. Remember that? And the whole Japanese style of the water gardens, the terrace gardens that are seen in karate in Ethiopia. I mean, and the link is there. You understand? We gave them ninjutsu. We gave them ninjutsu, the art of the ninja we're talking about, and brought that to reality. The samurai warrior, all of them things come from the African, the black man. So whatever another nation seems to be giving us back, the same tomahawk, and what you call that thing there, the thing on the hovercraft, the tomahawk helicopter and the hovercraft and the war tank and something else. All of these things can be seen on the walls at the temple of Abydos. So we will say the Europeans invent these things, yeah, and them give it to us. But who taught them it before? Where did they get this technology from? So those who seem to be giving us back things, and we walking through Doric and Corinth, Boaz and Jachin to get an education and to come out with some PhDs. For those who didn't pick it up, the universities I'm talking about, when you walk through the pillars, that's what they're called. Pillars are very important in masonry. So when you walk into these Masonic temples to get some degrees to put around your fingers, you understand, whatever good you got there, they got it from you.
And while he's saying that, let me just come in here. This is it there. Let me make sure we're sharing this properly. These are, okay, there it is. You could see here, for those who don't know, the Temple of Abydos is what? We're talking at least almost 4,000 years old. Yeah, almost 4,000 years old. And in this temple, this is the temple at Abydos. You could see the helicopter here, the war tomahawk helicopter, highly in the Coptic, as Vaughn would say. You see something that is definitely similar to a hovercraft, and then you have something that's very similar to a war tank. But for sure, the helicopter, undoubtedly, you could see it standing out. I think this is the Hornet, if I'm not mistaken, and the old glyph right in here. But these are modern day weapons of war, in a sense, vehicles specifically used in war and battle for sure. I mean, the tomahawk, that tank, say, limousine, and they've already been carved thousands of years, not even hundreds, thousands. You know what thousands is? We just chat thousands like it's nothing, yeah? But 1,000 years is a long, long, long time. 2,000 years is double that, going into 4,000 years ago. You carving the tomahawk helicopter, the war tank, and a hovercraft on your walls 4,000 years ago? You're kidding me. And that is to show you the insight is more than this. We have the bulb with the filament inside of it as the serpent, thousands of years ago again. So whatever it is that anybody seems to be giving us, well, we made the niggas fly the Hamatop helicopter. He's the first nigga soldier to be a pilot, you know. So it looks like if they gave us the opportunity to fly in a Tomahawk, where they got their technology from us before they gave it back to us. So is a whole heap of 360 vibes going on as we, the resurrected ones, are now regaining our culture. That is what he was saying there a moment ago. So even though you go to their university, whether it's Howard, Harvard, which one of them I think is Harvard Law University, is Antigua, Bill Harvard Law University. You can't tell me I lie. You think I just chat and make up things? Do your research. The money from the plantation of Isaac Royal, his money is what was invested into the Harvard University to build specifically the law aspect of Harvard University. And at the same time, funding a lot of Harvard University in general from right here. So although, you know, I mean, to me, it's somewhat quack that we kill ourselves to get us a paper from our sworn enemy, and act and we encourage our children. I mean, if you get something, well, you get it. I mean, if you can, it's up to you if you want to put 4 years into that or however long you take to get them circles. But don't act as if that's the salvation of life. Like, well, you know, you better get it because if you don't, you can't. And we mean if I don't, I can't. Well, you get them words to put these words together about a university, Oxford and Yale, slave masters. I'm not telling you not to get a thing, eh? I always say that. I don't want nobody go and say, well, you know, Priest Isaac said we don't need no, please. But in the scriptures, they speak of Christ and says, who is he that has no letters, pardon me, yet still with such authority? Letters mean P and H and D. You know what I mean? And D and M and S and all of them, MS and a heap of letters that follows your name. Pardon me. So I'm saying, whatever you do get from there, if you could say, hey, I'm accredited now to speak, you know, if you think, and I know this and I know that, well, all right, that's good. But whatever they taught you that was good, know for surety they learned that from you sometime in the past. Yeah, that's the point. In fact, that's so much the point, I don't even have to continue with this. I think that's enough of that for today. So that's just a clip from the Shock of the Hour program. Look at the royal god here. Look at the royal god. This is our ancient turban. The turban is no yesterday thing. And the man has his chalice. Not no fire pipe, his chalice in his hand. Eh? The blackest tree in the garden. And you can see it's lit. And you know the Indians, these Indians over here, I don't know about the red Indians as they call them, but you know them people here ain't no tobacco smoking. It's it's marijuana, shishat in Kemet is seen, the goddess shishat is seen, you know what I mean, with the ganja leaf over her head. I don't even know how civilized, you know what I mean, the Sadhu people were at that time. But that's the wife of Tahuti, wisdom, and the Akashic records. Yeah, so let me be clear here, man. It is nice for us to look at history like that because I've challenged that before. And that concept, because, you know, sometimes we teach with a lot of passion. Just today, I was listening to some brothers and they mentioned Marcus Garvey. This is in the United States. Because remember, Marcus Garvey is Caribbean and yet still United States. So one of the brothers was saying, it was actually Professor James Smart, and he was saying Marcus Messiah Garvey. You know, of course, he has respect for Garvey, Messiah Marcus. And then he called about 5 to 6 names, you know, which, to be honest, they were unfamiliar to me. You know what I mean? But these like were some brothers in the United States. He was saying, man, before Garvey was saying this such and such led a delegation to Africa, and this man and that man and that man and that. People I never really, at least I can't remember. Maybe I would have skimmed across them, but it hasn't retained, you know. And I'm just bringing that up in light of even when the good brother was with us, Elder Flacco, he mentioned a few people past the web and some other ones that would have come before Garvey and have put down the message. And I have always said so. I mean, before Marcus Garvey was born, I mean, people have been killing the enemy. well, those of you who follow the shock of the hour, you know a few nights ago we had a good presentation that you heard from Sister Oladeli and brother Mali Olatunji. These are some of our strong activists right here in Antigua, still doing the work. And you could hear, how they spoke of King Court, which is Prince Class as they call him, from 1736, and how his plot was to destroy the government house with explosives. But the plot was foiled. You don't know how that go. You know why too. Somebody sell out the scene, and 88 of the brethren were hung and broken on the wheel and many different things. So the revolutionary, I mean, we can talk about Haiti and Desaline and these ones. All of them come before Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey, the mighty prophet, say he went to America looking for who was it? Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington. I think so. So he obviously, he admired him and he was inspired by him. This ain't no religious dogmatic meditation we have here. As if we have to say, oh, he was the first and he was the first. It's not the first thing. But I think it's obvious. We don't have to fight for no first. Nobody in the world. Hear me now. Let me talk. Hold on. No one in the world, whether you like, love, respect, or anything as it relates to Marcus Garvey. Listen to me. Let me talk again. Nobody in the world can deny that all these people that came before Marcus Garvey, those that said, look to the east, those that said Africa for the Africans, those that said whatever they said, Marcus said, none of them, even if you put all of them together, no offense, I just showing you so at least your mind can be clear moving forward. I don't deny that this man said this before him. Marcus say he read them man and follow and study them, but this again, this man get defensive when they're religious. So you have to jump in and say, well, the prophet, the Bible said, no, you have to go there. That's unnecessary. Yes, Marcus said that. Marcus is a youth. Them is Marcus Garvey elder. What's wrong with that? Why you have to feel away for that? Because you feel Marcus is a part of the Trinity, so you feel wounded when somebody say, yeah, man, Marcus get this from that man. So what? Wait, what do you mean? Marcus' father and his mother feed him when he's a baby too? What are you talking about? Yeah. But that ain't the point. Ain't who get what from who. If I shoot the shot, well, yeah, you get credit for the assist. But the point is, nobody shoot more shots than Marcus. Messiah Garvey. Yeah, so that's really what it is. And when you have a clear way of thinking, everything will come out proper. So basically that is it, as we look at the reality of the relationship, I would say, between the Rastafari and the Indians. Everything that they have, we can prove that we had it before them. Basically, I mean, that's obvious. Once you study, you see that. It's on all the walls. It's just there to see. The ganja leaf, the pipe and everything. Plus, we can show you where we interacted with them, like in this photo here, with the same features, the turban and I mean any black man with them kind of hair and turban. That's the culture, the locks wrapped up in the turban. They got it from us and the chalice pipe basically. So that's really what it is, just for clarity, especially for my students, all understanding and righteousness. So yeah, what's going on now? Sunday, man, Sunday. Again, we're looking forward to seeing you on Sunday. This is what the first. And listen to me. Remember, the 2nd of November is the 90th anniversary celebration of the coronation of Haile Selassie. 90 different realms we've gone into now. It's not the coronation of the king alone. It was the coronation of the empress. So this program, because the night of the first, we done gone into the second. Really, eh? So this program is really done in the spirit of the coronation. Man, believe me, there's a lot. Anyway, as I said, after the Sabbath, I will be, doing a quick program, just reminding you of our webinar the day after, which would be the Sunday, giving you a little more, I would say, a sneak preview of what to expect, because I don't think you understand really the levels that we will be going into. Trust me, when we do these special programs, we really go all the way out as far as knowledge, facts, information. You know, I don't want to make it sound anyway, but it's just straightforward. I have to put it like this. When we do these webinars, it's not as if, you know, it's something that we come here and we repeat to you or whatever, whatever. No, we understand that the audience that is coming in is an audience that has put themselves in a position and, you know, gone out of their way to come and sit in the lecture room to receive a specific standard of knowledge for real. And to me, all even what we just did, to me, that's standard vibes. But we are going into Rastafari and the woman on different levels, many different levels. So I'm inviting you to get your ticket now. Very easy, especially if you're using the Cash App. And this is a very important point. Again, when you do that Cash App, please email me at precise@27@gmail.com, like right away, and give us an understanding of the transaction. Of course, the transaction will come right to us, but sometimes the registered name and the email that the person may need the transaction sent to may be different. So that is why we just ask you to do that simple thing for sure. And as I said, you will be getting that via the email, the key, so you could come into the lecture room on Sunday evening. Remember, you could even come with your questions. You don't have to wait for the lecture, because we have the question room available. Also, we definitely remember you could vote on the questions depending on what the questions may be, and the most votes will get obviously some sort of preference. So that is it, my brothers and sisters. Looking forward to seeing you on Sunday. Looking forward to seeing you after the Sabbath. Do give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life. And of course, give thanks for the Sabbath rest with us. King Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Yeah, give thanks, eh? Blessed love.